Hi, this is Gary Kayye. We're at day 2 of InfoComm 2016. First time I've actually sat down since the show started. So thanks to Almo for providing this executive suite here inside their booth. I'm joined by Almo's Executive Vice President, Sam Taylor, and Almo's is it VP of Marketing of Melody Craigmyle. So first of all, Melody, how's the show been? I mean, I know that you put a lot of time, a lot of energy, your team. This is a big focus for your company for a while. How's the show been for you so far?
I think the show's been going really well. Yesterday we had great booth traffic, great meetings with our customers. We celebrated our 70th anniversary yesterday afternoon with the champagne toast with some of our partners. So far so good, and we expect the show to be great.
Well, as everyone knows, that you guys have gone through an acquisition, and it's a merger of really two really powerful distributors in a way. I mean, with your acquisition of IAVI, well, in general, kind of how's that gone? Because that's got to be a heck of a transition.
Well, it's going really well. It's we had a goal when we announced to have them on the same system when we closed the transaction. So we had about 5 weeks, which were crazy weeks of getting all the information to pull off of their system, shut it down, and pull onto our system. It went pretty well. It was, we had a couple hiccups, but overall went really well.
You'd be lying to me if you would have said, I would have known you were lying to me if you said there were no hiccups.
Right, exactly. You know that I'm a transparent guy, and anybody who says that they do an acquisition and there wasn't a hiccup is not being straightforward. But anyways, what has really impressed us was two things. One, the culture fit between their folks and our folks has been great. So really it has become one team very quickly. And then the other thing is we went in with a very open mind, and not to say that, hey, we're going to do this the Almo way, but IAVI had some really good ideas about how they approach the business, and we incorporated them into Almo, and right now that has made us a better customer, so we're really looking forward to taking those ideas, and they'll help us better service our customers.
Almo has, in my opinion, the best distributor show in the industry, in the world, really. I mean, you put on something almost as good as InfoComm in a little small way, because you have a combination of not only InfoComm RU CTS credits, but also you put together a little miniature trade show. I assume that the IAVI merger will affect that in a good way.
Yeah, I think it definitely will. As we had mentioned before, there was very little customer overlap with the acquisition, so we'll be having a whole new group of resellers come to attend to get educated. We are bringing over some new vendor partners, which we'll be announcing shortly, and they'll be exhibiting at the show. But the partnership with InfoComm and the E4 AV Tour has just been tremendous over the past 7 years, and we're just going to continue to develop the program.
Well, I'm excited about it because, as you know, the 4K thing has gotten big, and everybody's asking about it now, and I think timing-wise we're perfect on that. But let me turn our attention to product a little bit, and I'll let you guys decide who wants to answer that. The industry's shifting. I mean, there's definitely a shift, and in many layers. Let's start with the display layer. We're seeing entirely new technologies usurp other technologies. For an example, I'm seeing a lot more flat panel displays going in places that projectors would have gone in. And I think that's benefited you because you sell a lot of flat panel displays, but also it's sort of a trade-off too because you also sell a lot of projectors. Where are you seeing that cutoff? Is it 70 inches, 80 inches, 90 inches, and where do you see the future of that?
Well, I think we see the cutoff at 90 inches, really. Is anything bigger than 90 inches, and folks are still going to go with a projector. And so we see projection on the high end still growing. For the smaller sizes and the smaller rooms and conference rooms, it's in serious decline, and it'll continue to decline. So I think that the projection will be here with us, but it's going to be for the house of worships, large venue, and those type of environments.
What about LED, the impact of LED on display environments? Because we're now seeing LEDs that are almost as good as direct view LCD TVs. I don't know if you had a chance to walk the show floor, but there's a few of them out there on the show floor that are stunning.
Well, we started seeing it at ISE in Europe, and every other booth had LED product in it, and we definitely see that's the wave of the future there, and we're working on some partnerships too to bring LED to our customer base.
And you do have a couple of LED customers now, but I definitely think that's going to be a change. What about networked? I mean, you see, we've been talking about AV over IT and over IP for a while, but now we're actually seeing products that do both audio and video over the network. An example of that is sort of the ClickShare, which you guys have had a big part in. It sort of creates its own network, but now we're talking about riding over on the corporate network. Are you seeing a lot of requests for that, and how do you see that position in the market, and when should an integrator start seriously looking at that?
Now. Okay. Right now, because it's happening. We've got some great products where you could do the streaming over the network, and the products are here now. They're real, and they're doing a good job. And that really wasn't the case a year or two ago. But right now, there's some really good products out there, and I think that if the integrators aren't seriously looking at this now, they're going to be in big trouble.
I tend to agree with you, and I don't know that everything will go over the network instantaneously, but I think there's a lot of opportunity in that, and I think it'll grow the entire industry, right? I mean, I think you'll be able to put display technology in places that we wouldn't have thought about putting it, because it's not as complicated. What about 4K? I mean, obviously the keynote is 4K, but aren't you seeing a lot of people asking about 4K, and the display companies are a little bit behind, I think, in providing 4K, considering how many people are asking about it?
Well, in our booth, I think there are probably maybe 3 displays that aren't 4K. So we are really showcasing 4K, talking to people about content creation, talking about the players, how to put the whole thing together, the markets that it's going into. The display behind us is a 4K display, and the prices are coming down, and the applications are growing.
One of the areas that I think that the industry needs to do a better job at, and I think you can help them quite a bit, is services. And you've actually introduced over the last couple of years the ability to sort of, I want to say, white label those services within an organization. For example, you can also help with, in addition to helping with installation services. So if you have a customer who's doing a job in a global area that they don't have their own office, you can help them connect with the right company to do that integration. But the Almo Connect. The Almo Connect is a great example of an opportunity that I think integrators should really take advantage of. Tell them about Almo Connect, and how has the reception been so far?
Well, Almo Connect is the ability for our integrators to sell bandwidth services to their customers. And since we just came off the topic of 4K, and when you start putting 4K, you need more bandwidth. So it's something our integrators haven't thought of asking. We've had a couple big successes and a couple really big wins, and I think we got to get some white papers out there to the integrators, because they're used to the IT guys taking care of that. But here's a chance and an awesome chance for our customers to get recurring revenue from their customers. And it's just all they really have to do is turn it over to us, and and the providers like Comcast or Time Warner take care of the rest, and they get a check every month, as long as the service providers providing the bandwidth service. And
what's amazing about that is there's no installation that's not connected to the network nowadays. So why not own the network, and why not help them get access to the internet? What about the creative services? That has been something that's really bugged me over the years, is that our industry gives away the creative. We do all the work on the back end, the infrastructure for digital signage, then we turn it on and we walk away from it. As an industry, you launched at least a couple of years ago a creative services division where you actually can create the content, maintain the content with creative. Has that grown, or where do you see that going in the future, and have the dealers realized that exists?
I think when we first introduced the service, we were basically telling people, we can do anything that you want, video production, soup to nuts. But what we discovered is that we had to boil it down to much more simpler messaging. So now we have templated solutions for a menu board, for wayfinding, that really spells out the scope of work very succinctly, what they're going to get, what the modifications are going to be, and that's been very well received by the integrators.
So focusing on the digital signage element of creative is sort of where the magic is. I totally agree. I think the integrators need to take advantage of that, because we are walking away from it. And ironically, if you look at it 5 years down the road, that's where all the money is. That's where the money is because you can make a little bit of money on the installation, but you make a lot more money on the creative.
Oh, agreed. Again, it's recurring revenue for the integrator. And what I tell folks is if you're walking away from that, somebody is going to do the content creation and somebody's going to be doing the maintaining that for 3 or 4 years. And then when there's a technology refresh, who are they going to go to? It's going to be the person that's been supplying them the content for the past 3 years.
Yeah, they now own the relationship.
Exactly, 100%.
I mean, it's logical that that's exactly what's going to happen. Well, I appreciate you guys joining me today. It's good to kind of get an overview of what's going on, and I think you guys sit in an interesting place in the industry because everybody's talking to you. The manufacturers are talking to you, the integrators are talking to you, and everybody sort of needs you. So you tend to know what's going on ahead of time. So I'm going to ask you both one last question. Are you bullish on the industry for the rest of 2016 or cautious?
I'm bullish on the industry. I'm concerned about the overall economy a little bit, to be honest with you. But as far as the Pro AV industry, it's really healthy right now, and it's going great guns. So I'm bullish on Pro AV. We'll see on the economy.
You don't have to agree with him just because he's your boss.
We don't always agree, but in this regard, I would have to say I do agree with him. We are seeing lots of activity on projects, big projects coming down the pike, but of course, anybody that reads the Wall Street Journal knows that there are concerns out there.
Yeah, I'm bullish because I think one of the things that's going to pull us through this is the fact that at this year's show, this year, we have had more new technology than I can remember in a short period of time. And I think that sort of can drive you past a bad economy. Like 4K and network integration and some of the newer technologies that are coming along that are going to, I think that's going to drive us past this because other, like you said, projector sales that go down, display sales go up, but then all the connectivity to that stuff is more expensive and more profitable. Yep. So that's my guess. We'll see. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before, at least once. We'll see at InfoComm 2017. We'll watch this video and see if we were right. How's that? So that's all for InfoComm 2016. Of course, we have a videographer coming here and is going to shoot individual product videos on all the products that Almo has here at the booth. As Melody said, everything is 4K except for just a couple of displays. That's a big deal here. Almo's a distributor in the AV industry, as you know, Pro AV distributor in the AV industry. The strongest right now, I think, and you should check them out at almoproav.com. And of course, you can go in the video search window and type in Almo, and any of the videos that we shoot will show up. So, thanks, Melody. Thanks, Sam. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Gary.
Thanks for watching.